Hello, my young students. Welcome to today's session on hydrogen. In our previous session, preparation of hydrogen, properties of hydrogen, then uses of hydrogen. This is the one third of the chapter hydrogen. Two third of the chapter is regarding water. The best friend of hydrogen is oxygen. So they go for chemical combination and water is formed, which is our second essence of our life. I told in our previous discussion. So about water, in brief, we discuss certain properties. So once again, I welcome you all for today's session on the hydrogen two-third part, that is namely water. Water is the source of life. 75% of the human body, excuse me, is composed of water. So mainly our body is made up of maximum amount of water only, and most of the reactions are taking place in the presence of water as a medium. About 70% of the earth is covered with water. But today, because of the development, because of the civilization, because of increase in the population, judiciously we are not using the water. Therefore, water is being contaminated. That comes under the water pollution. Therefore, let us not pollute the water which is available. So, how much water available on earth, let us use it wisely and judiciously. As the climate change in recent years has become more severe, so the lack of water is getting serious and makes people start to take the lack of water resources seriously. This data will confirm you. Okay, so water occurs in different forms, in the ocean form, in the borewell, normal well, okay, and as a moisture on the glaciers. So in different forms water occurs. Even in the atmosphere, water occurs as a water vapor. But how much fresh water is available, that matters. So the amount of fresh water available on earth is very, very meager amount. So that is the water which is fit for drinking. That water is called as water potable water. Potable, potable. Water which is fit to drink is called as potable water. That water is less in amount. It is between 1.2 to 2.5%. So that is the worry part. So whatever fresh water is available, if you contaminate that water, then we face a problem. Therefore, let us not contaminate. So let us take all the precautions whenever we are using the water. So this graphical data will tell us the amount of fresh water available to the human beings is very, very less. Therefore, let us use water wisely. And every year in the month of March, we go for what? Uh, uh, Celebration of the water day. Okay. So which is the day? And that one movie has come. So please see that movie. He has explained very nicely the importance of water and how to use also. Okay, right. Now this is the data. Where all water available in what source. Okay, right. Now these are some properties of water. First we go for some physical properties. Its cohesive property, its surface tension property. Okay, found in all the three states. That means it is the water which is available in all the three states: solid state, liquid state, and the gaseous state. Maximum it occurs in the liquid state only. It also occurs in the gaseous state in the form of water vapor, and solid state as a snow on glaciers. Okay, right. Conduction of heat, which is highest of all the liquids. What about the latent heat of vaporization? Highest of all common substances. See, all the physical properties are highest for water. What about the latent heat of fusion? High for all molecule of its size. What is the heat capacity of water? Once again, highest of all common solids and liquids. Density maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. Viscosity relatively low. This is the very gift and the boon for human beings. Okay, that means whatever properties are there, all these properties, they are very, very, very gift to the human beings, life on earth. So why these properties, special properties are given to the water? It is because of what? Water has got a special property of hydrogen bonding. On O, we have two lone pair of electrons. Those two lone pair of electrons will go for hydrogen bonding with itself or with other liquids. That is a gift of nature given to the water, which is very useful and beneficial for human life. You see chemical properties. It is called as universal solvent because most of the chemicals dissolve in water only. There are some chemicals, they are not soluble, they are soluble in the organic solvents, but most of the chemicals dissolves in the water because of its two important properties. One is polarity. So oxygen will go for the negative pole and the hydrogen will go for the positive pole. So two poles are created due to difference in the electronegativity. So because of the creation of the poles or the polarity property, because of the hydrogen bonding, which is the reason for the two lone pair of electrons on the oxygen. So these two properties are making water something special. Please see the pH value of water. What is the formula for water? Water is H2O. If water dissociates, it dissociates into what? H plus ion and the OH minus ion. H plus ion is responsible for the acidic properties and the OH minus ion is responsible for the basic properties. That means water acts as base as well as an acid. So chemically also properties are very beneficial. Physically also beneficial. In total, all the properties given to the water by the nature all beneficial for the life on earth. And there are some organic solvents I told they are hydrophobic, they don't dissolve, and that is gift also. Okay, certain chemicals what we prepare today, they are soluble in the organic solvents, and in turn we distillate, then the chemical is extracted, and that is given in the form of what? Medicine to the when we are sick. So certain chemicals dissolve in water, certain chemicals does not, and those are taken in the organic solvents. That is called hydrophobic nature of the water. Hydrophilic is water liking. Hydrophobic is water repelling. Now we can compare these properties with heavy water. What is heavy water? Heavy water is deuterium oxide D2O. Normal water is H2O. So H2O is fit for life, not D2O. Okay, that's why he has compared properties of ordinary water H2O with heavy water D2O. This is the best. Okay. Now these are anomalous properties of water, which is the consequence of hydrogen bonding. Then okay, specific heat, all these properties just now we have discussed. Okay, right. And importance in the physical and the biological environment, that is, this part is very important. Okay, so one example is what? Specific heat. One sample just discussed. Prevents rapid temperature changes. Heat transfer by water movements is very large, tends to maintain body temperature. It is because of the highest specific heat of the water. When we consume, when you take water, water maintains the body temperature. So that means the property of water is useful for the body mechanism, body physiology. Okay, so that's why what is very unique. It is also called as second essence of our life. First is air. Now this is the structure of water. So water is a bent structure. This we studied in the chemical bonding chapter. Earlier we thought water is a linear structure, but due to the X-ray diffraction technique and the spectroscopic results, today we understood clearly the structure is not linear, it is bent. Some bond angle is there. That is also measured, which is equal to 104 point degrees, that we study later in next slide. Okay, so but important part is what? Electrons are pulled towards the oxygen because oxygen is more electronegative, thus creating two poles. Okay, that's why water is polar. Now this is the bond parameters. Just now I told bond angle is maintained. It is 104.5 or exactly, more exactly it is 104.45 degrees. Okay, why this much only? It is because of the repulsion between the two lone pair of electrons on the oxygen and the bond pair between the O and the H. So it is because of the lone pair bond pair repulsion, shrink is there between the two hydrogen atoms. That is the reason why slightly less than the normal tetrahedral structure of the methane. Whereas the bond length between the O and H, it is 95.84 picometers. All these are bond parameters of an water molecule in the structural form, tetrahedral structure. When water converts into ice, you see the structure. This is the structure of ice. Okay. The main important part or the structure important part of the ice is what? Each O is surrounded by 4 other O's tetrahedrally. Okay, this is one structure. When the structure is zoomed, you get this structure. So understand this structure. Each O is surrounded by 4 other O's tetrahedrally, and one O is having covalent bond with 2 hydrogen atoms, and one H2O is making bond with one more H2O through hydrogen bonding. So these are the 3 important points you want to check. One is what? Each O is surrounded by 4 other O tetrahedrally. Second is one O is making bond with 2 O. These are covalent bond, and one H2O to other H2O hydrogen bonding is there. So this is the zoom part of the structure. And here you see some gaps are there. So this gaps makes water ice lighter than water. These gaps we don't find in the water liquid. Okay, only in the ice we find. That's why ice floats on water. Normally, any solid form will sink in its liquid form, but only in the case of water it is opposite. Its solid form is floating or less dense than the liquid form. It is because of what? When you understand the structure, you will come to know why it is floating. It is holes are created, and a cage like structure is there. Those holes are responsible for making the ice light. That is explained here in the structure. Okay, right. Ice has a highly ordered three-dimensional hydrogen bonded structure. Examination of ice crystals with X-rays shows that each oxygen atom is surrounded tetrahedrali by 4 other oxygen atoms, a distance of 276 picometers. Hydrogen bonding gives ice a rather open type structure with wide holes. These holes can hold some other molecules of appropriate size interstitially, and this is the reason why most of the chemicals dissolve in the water and why ice is lighter than water. So all these are explained properly by the help of X-ray diffraction of structure of ice. Now we'll go to the chemical properties of water one by one. First is amphoteric properties of water. What is amphoteric? If any chemical behaves like acid as well as a base, that is called amphoteric. Okay. So that this property is there with water. So water behaves as an acid as well as a base. It depends upon situation. If the approaching chemical is a strong acid, water will act as a base. If the approaching chemical is a strong base, then it will act as an acid. So depend upon the approaching chemical, it will change its role. So water plays a double role here, as an acid as well as a base. Please here, reaction between ammonia and the water. Ammonia is a strong base. When ammonia says I am a base, by birth I am a base, then water says I will change my role as an acid. So here in this reaction, water is an acid, this is base, and the rest is what? Ammonium hydroxide. When same water with hydrogen sulfide, which is a acidic nature, okay, when H2S says I am acid, then it will change, I should act as like a base. So in this reaction, water role is as an acid, and in this reaction, water's role is what? As a base. So that's why water is amphoteric in nature. Now this is, you see, another interesting property of water. Water combining with itself. When water is combining with itself, so they come for compromise. So between the two water molecules, one will say, I will act today as acid and you act as a base, or I will act as acid, you act as a base. So they will go for compromise. Ultimately, when two water molecules react, they convert into hydronium ion and the hydroxide ion. This is the acidic property, this is the basic property. So acidic property and the basic property of water is because of what? It is because of water is react with water only. One will act as acid, one will act as a base, and this property is called what? Autoprotolysis. So it is self proton giving. Okay, one water gives proton to the other water molecule, and this property is called what? Automatic proton giving, known as autoprotolysis or self ionization. All these properties are helpful for our life. You see this property, redox reactions of water. That means water also undergoes redox reactions. See, reaction between sodium and the water. Sodium is what? extreme left side you find the best reducing agent. When sodium is acting like a reducing agent, now water says I will act as an oxidizing agent. Okay, that's why what he says here, water can be easily reduced by sodium. Okay, reducing agent, oxidizing agent, and the reaction is the redox reaction to give sodium hydroxide, and hydrogen comes out in the form of gas. Now water is oxidized to O2 during photosynthesis, okay, by carbon dioxide. So water is oxidized by oxidizing agent. So CO2 is oxidizing agent. This is reducing agent. Here it was acting like an oxidizing agent, but here it is acting like a reducing agent. That means earlier water was acting like a acid and the base. Now it is acting like a oxidizing agent as well as the reducing agent. So water has got a lot of properties, very useful properties. Now with fluorine you see, with fluorine is what? Fluorine right topmost, most electronegative, best oxidizing agent. When fluorine approaches the water, we can't change the property of fluorine because its nature is best OA. When fluorine is the best OA, then water says I should act like a RA only. There is no chance for me. So it will change. Fluorine can't change, but water will change its role. So that means water keeps changing the property depend upon the situation. So with fluorine, it gives oxygen and hydrogen fluoride. That means very interesting properties of water, very interesting nature of water. All these are nature's greatest gift to mankind. Okay. So with this, we will wind today's session on properties of water, and in next session we will continue the properties of water. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you.